name is Elysabeth Alfano, your host of The Dinner Party. When celebs can't make the filming of my live roundtable TV talk show, I bring the dinner party to them. Hydrating in style over Voss water and with the help of my friends at Stove Cookware. Here's a recent episode of The Dinner Party. Fashion guy and style guru Lauren Zarian joins me on The Dinner Party at the Sunset Marquee. Lawrence, thank you for being with me today.
Thanks for feeding me. I haven't eaten since Tuesday.
Well, well, we're here to change that. So we actually eat and drink here. So please dig in,
happy.
Pull out your fork, and just go for the salad and the great food from the Cavatina restaurant at Sunset Marquee.
Thank you.
So I would like you to tell me, in between bites,
Yes.
your story, because I have to say you are one of the most beautiful specimens on the planet.
Oh my God, cheers to me.
Yes, cheers to you, exactly.
That is very lovely, thank you. I wish every dinner started that way.
Well, it's the truth, and I went through your book, which I loved, and you have a story in there that is filled with self-doubt until a certain point in time in your life when you turned that around. So tell me your story, because it's hard to believe, for me, that someone really as stunning as yourself could have self-doubt.
I look at it this way. I believe that you set out wanting a career, and the career that I wanted just wasn't playing itself out. I really wanted to be an actor, and I did everything I could. I was in New York, I was waiting tables. Sandy Bullock and I were best friends in New York, working at this restaurant called Canistell's, and she was getting work. I couldn't get arrested. And I always say this to people, the business tells you what they want from you. And I just wasn't working, and then I pursued modeling, and I have an identical twin brother named Gregory, and we're identical, but I'm 2 inches taller than he is. He's a 40 regular, and I'm a 42 long. So when I came from New York and I moved back to LA, we were both with the same modeling agency, and I just wasn't working.
Again, I would think taller would even be stronger here.
You know what I didn't realize, and it's probably one of the biggest lessons I learned in my life, I didn't fit the clothes. And it wasn't until later in my life, when my career was established, that one of my closest friends, her name was Patty Fox, she was the fashion director of the Academy Awards, she was doing a fitting for the Oscar press preview. And I said, let me come and watch, because you have the world's most beautiful models coming in, and I'm like, who doesn't want to sit and watch gorgeous men and gorgeous women, you know, trying on clothes? Yes. At the end of the casting, I said, what's wrong, sweetheart? And she said, I have one tuxedo that didn't fit the guys. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and she went, would you try it on? And I went, seriously? I put on the tuxedo, it fit like a glove. Oh. And that was such a revelation for me, because I fit the clothes. And I think that's the way the universe works.
Yes.
If it's the right fit, you get the job, you get the relationship, you get whatever it is. If it's not the right fit, you can't take it personally, because the better fit's coming along. And I saw all these people on TV talking about fashion. And I had done a little modeling, and my dear friend Nora Fraser said to me, stop trying to change the world. Talk about fashion. You're a good-looking guy. You always make women feel good. And I mean, and then my career was born. And I picked up the phone and called every single show that I wanted to be on. I'm like, nothing is going to stop me. And then one show led to another, and then another show led to another. And, you know, knock on wood, I've been working for a long time.
You have been at this for a long time, but I love that story. Oprah used to talk about this as well, that every failure is just the world telling you, you haven't found your right fit. You haven't found the place that's for you.
And we get, you know, I love the term, it's my calling. I was doing fashion segments for different TV shows, and it was on Home and Family the first time. This is the second reincarnation of it, and this is 15 years ago. And one of my producers said, hey, would you do a makeover? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I think that means just going to put nice clothes on somebody. And when she walked out and felt better, something really resonated inside of me. And then I did another makeover, and then I did another makeover, and then I wanted to be on this show. And one of my favorite stories is my mother used to say, honey, why don't you go like it was that easy. Honey, go do that show called Live with Regis and Kathy Lee.
Oh, yeah, just go
I
do
love
that.
that show. And
Just
I'm like,
walk onto that show.
Okay, Doris. So I pursued it, and nothing ever came out. And then I got hired to do a pilot for MGM. And one of the hosts on the show, her name was Lori Hibbert. Lori Hibbert at that time was dating Michael Gelman, who's the executive producer of Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. And I said, oh my God, my mother's always wanted to be on that show. Can you set up a meeting? Long story short, I had my meeting with Michael Gelman, and Michael Gelman said to me, well, it's really nice, glad you came in, thank you for bringing me your tape. We already have somebody. And I said, I know, but your somebody might get sick. And he goes, no, we have somebody. But I'm like, I know, but don't say no until you look at my tape. Your somebody might be sick. that somebody got sick,
Oh.
and I've been there since.
Oh my word.
So I think you have to have tenacity. You also have to know your worth. Like, I'm really good at what I do because I care so much about what I do. So many people say, oh my God, I hate my job. And I'm like, well, then find the job that you love.
You have to. How
Because
can you
life
go through
goes by, I mean, literally my career started a minute ago, and I'm sitting here now talking about a book that I wrote. So, you know, life is very fast, life is fleeting. If you're not relishing getting up every day and being a part of a career that you get to create, we can create this all.
Anything, right.
Then find what makes you happy, find your joy, find your bliss, find your happiness. Have a bite of ahi.
Ahi tuna salad. And there's albacore tuning pokey.
Thank you. And sea bass.
And sea bass. So what I like to call this is the bingo effect.
Okay.
So I remember I was working in marketing for a large Fortune 500 company, and I was not liking it. And when you don't like your job, every day is like lifting heavy furniture. Mm-hmm. And I would have to get up and go to that job, and I just wait for the minutes to go by. And then I tried out, I love animals, and I tried out for the Animal Planet with Steve Irwin. Do you remember him before he passed away? With Steve Irwin. And I had never done any acting, ever. I really thought reality TV shows meant reality TV shows. I didn't know that they were scripted or that everybody in the line would be.
What? Like, that's scripted? Oh my God, like you're going to tell me something about Santa Claus right now.
Everyone in the line was an actor who had a bio and a head sheet and all this headshots, and I didn't have any of that. But I love animals, and I ended up really getting along with Steve Irwin, and they kept me to be in this pilot that they were doing for a new spin-off show, and that moment changed my life. And I remember thinking that I was 125% of myself. I'd never done anything like this, but working in, usually people tell me, shut up, we've had enough of you. Here people are saying we want more of you. So my skill set met my passion with animals and communication, and when that happened, that bingo effect of your passion meeting your skills, I just felt larger than life, and I never wanted to feel any different ever again.
My core is when I get to take a woman and make her feel better about herself. I love taking a woman that, in life's a choice. And women get married and they have kids, and somehow along the way these women sort of lose sight of who they are. And I respect the fact that they put their children first, they put the family first, but they put the husband first. And after a long window of time, they start feeling depleted. They've lost who they are.
Yes.
What I love about a makeover is it reminds you that you're beautiful just the way you are, that you're attractive, and how much you've achieved. The hardest job in the world is to be a parent, period. Mm-hmm. So to take these women and to give them this opportunity to feel pretty, feel attractive, try on different clothes, and look in the mirror and like themselves better. I mean, I seriously, I think in our business, so many people are always wanting the next best thing. I'm doing it. I truly, truly believe every single person should love themselves and look in the mirror and find out who they are. The biggest disservice we have right now is the internet. Social media has single-handedly destroyed relationships. It's destroyed the way people relate to themselves. It's destroyed friendships because everybody spends their life looking down and looking and seeing who they're not.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more.
It's not reality. It's not real. Mm-hmm. You can spend your life trying to be something else, or you could spend your life trying to be the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. Instead of having 100,000 followers, have 5 amazing friends who think you're it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's my very favorite Chinese fortune cookie saying that when I got this fortune cookie, it's taped up to my mirror in my bathroom, and I look at it every day. Know who you are and be great at it. And once you do that, it really doesn't matter to you, all this chatter that's going on the internet. Everyone is so focused on what they're not, they're actually missing their everyday. And special things, miracles happen in the small details, and people are missing those wonderful opportunities.
When I'd always walk around the corner when I would do Regis and Kathy Lee, because I started on Regis and Kathy Lee. I was there for about 6 months before she before she moved on to another show.
She's still with us.
Yeah, she's love you, Kathy Lee. So when I was doing Regis and Kathy Lee, I was like, my career was just starting, and I was looking around and navigating, and then I started doing Regis and Kelly, and I kept looking around for everything, and then I thought, wait a second. Every time I walk around that corner, because they give me an intro, I'm walking up to Regis Philbin, a living legend. And I thought, stop trying to think outside the box. Stay firmly planted with where you are, because if you keep looking, you're going to be missing the moment.
So this is what I loved about your book is, yes, it's a book on fashion, but I'll say that is really, at least for me, a distant second. It's really a book about the relationship you have with yourself.
Oh, I love that you get that.
It's
Thank you.
so true. And then when you have that relationship, then you develop your style because you know who you are. And so one of the things that I take away, I know you have 10 great commandments of fashion, but I took away 4 things that just were wonderful reminders for me. And one of them is your past is your past and your present is your present. So you can't berate yourself for what was. That is done now. And now you get to see what is and the beauty therein. And that's point number 2, find the beauty therein, in your day, in your surroundings, in your family, in your friends, and of course in yourself. So it's just a book of so many life lessons. But I was wondering if you could sort of reiterate for me, how do you get women to turn the corner and love themselves again? Even if they don't get that big step, like themselves again. Be kind to themselves again.
You can only take, you know, that term, you can only take a horse to water. You can only give a woman the tools. Commandment number 1 is thou shalt look in the mirror and love what you see. And it's sort of very tongue-in-cheek. I'm like, okay, ladies, get a glass of wine, get whatever you need. Because I'm going to ask you to look in the mirror and be completely naked. So take a swig, scream, yell, say every cuss word in the book, but look at your body right now the way it is. And I spend pages helping women understand, accept, embrace. Once you embrace who you are, your body's never going to be what it was like in high school. It's just not. You can do whatever you want,
Well,
but
that sucks.
But everything's going to shift and change.
Until you can come to terms.
I look at myself in the mirror naked every single day, and there are times that I'm like, that's not bad. And there are other times that I'm like, God, I look good, and that's a choice. I choose to look at my body and go, you know what, I look really amazing today. And then there are other times that I won't even look. Like, I sometimes won't even, we all have our stuff.
I know.
And stop living in that. Once you find out and embrace and celebrate who you are, this is my body. I'm 5'2", I'm a size 16. Stop trying, well, what makes me nuts is when I say to a woman, you look so pretty. I'm trying. What are you trying? You're doing it. Just say thank, shut up and say thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say the most fantastic beauty tool, whether you're tall, thin, fat, whatever, blonde, brunette, is self-confidence.
Yes.
And so the faster you get to that, and however you want to get there, however you reconcile your story of 5'2" and 16 or what have you, however you get to that, the faster you do it, the prettier you are, because self-confidence is the ultimate tool.
If you don't celebrate who you are and the gift that you know, people have said to me, who's my favorite designer? And I've said, God. Whether it's God, your higher power, the universe, whatever anybody wants to believe in, they can, because it's like a couture dress. It's one event, one night, one person. We are all individual. We are custom
One
made.
of a kind, completely.
And look, I go, like, there are times that I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm fat. I go through my fat. I'm just like we all, excuse me for saying this, we all have our shit. We all look at our world differently through our eyes. But
Of course.
But what I choose to do is I choose to look at myself the way the world sees me. You were lovely and gave me some lovely compliments. What you see is not what I see. So I would rather believe I would rather drink what you're drinking than drink what I'm drinking.
Well, this is another lesson, is that life really is choices. It's just a series of choices. And if one can get in the habit of making the small choices, you end up getting the big results down the road.
And shut up. Complaining and being
Does nothing.
uncomfortable and being upset, then that becomes your story. I believe in putting it all out to the universe. Stop telling the universe how you're not. Start telling the universe, like, if you look in the mirror every day and say, I love you. And I'll just tell me an interesting thing about the book. The women that did not want to do work on themselves didn't like the book. They wanted the designer dress to put on to cover up their shame, their sadness, their disappointment. And I'm like, you're not reading the book.
Well, it avoids having to do the work. Because really what you're talking about is doing the work.
Because the book, in the beginning of the book, I say, send an email out to 5 friends and ask them to reply back and tell you 5 things they like about you. It could be your looks. It could be your personality. You're going to have 5 people that see you totally different than the way you see yourself. Ask the 5 people that love you, celebrate you, embrace you. I did that, and some people commented on my hair. Some people commented on my smile. I got to see myself through the eyes of people that love me. Once you start shifting how you start seeing yourself, everything's different. Everything, and you have a choice to make a different choice. I'm going to choose. Look, I wake up sometimes in a really nasty mood. We all do.
You?
In a really nasty mood, but I have to sit there, I have to take my time, I have to meditate, I have to talk to my God, my higher power, and I'm like, okay, I can be happy now. Like, what am I doing staying in that moment? Why am I complaining about this? Shift it, change. If you don't like this bowl over here, then move it over here.
Yeah, I fully believe in this. So if you think you're sitting under a tree and you're under full shade, it could be a very sunny day out. You just move out from under the shade and suddenly your world is sunny. So it's up to you to make that shift from the shade under the tree to the sunny bench. Because, and this is a point in the book, you really have to clean your mental closet before you can sort of look at the physical. So until you work through whatever it, and we all have it, so whatever we're all working through, whatever baggage we've got, be it from the negative voice we have in our head or the relationship we have with our parents or an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend that went awry, we don't know. So all of that you have to just put aside and work on yourself. Otherwise, it's just an excuse to sort of not get moving ahead.
And with internet, with social media, with books, with television, with therapists, you have every resource to take care of it. I've learned in the last 10 years, I don't feel that that sadness or that pain ever goes away. I feel that that's a part of you. I feel that as you get older, you learn how to deal with it. So you learn how to, my parents did the best they could, and there's some wounds that you try to heal, but they're always at the ready, sure. But as an adult man, I know how to step forward and say, oh, I'm not going to let that run my life.
This is who you are. And really, that's all you've got. So if you're not going to find a way to make peace with that, then you're always disempowering yourself because you have what you have and that's what you've got.
When you're going through hell, keep going because it doesn't last.
So I have something very similar that I say, one foot in front of the other.
Yes.
And sometimes it's baby steps. Sometimes it's really like crawling, but a body in motion stays in motion. That's my mantra, and I'm pretty sure you must have several mantras because you strike me as a man with mantras.
Well, that's St. Elmo's Fire, the Man in Motion, yeah.
Okay. St. Elmo's Fire, oh
the Man
my
in
God.
Motion, okay, I know, I sort of dated us, I know.
I was reference. It's bad.
Oh my goodness, okay. Oh my gosh, cheers to us looking so good. Oh my God.
Cheers to us looking good. I'll drink to that.
Chapter number 2 is Thou Shalt Couture Your Closet. And I say to every single woman, and men too, take everything out of your closet, all of it. Don't even look at it. Empty your closet out. And then with the budget that you have, whether it's a little money or you have some money to have your closets done, really make that space really pleasant and visual. And whether it's scented lavender or it's cedar chips or whatever, make sure that that closet space is presentable. So every time you open up the closet doors, you like the way it's presented. Once that's done, then you start going through your clothes because people only use 20% of their wardrobe.
That's me.
Only 20%.
I'm more like 15%.
20%.
Yeah, incredible.
But so many women, men don't do this as much, so many women will go out and shop and they'll buy something. If a woman's a size 10, she'll buy something that's a size 8 because guess what? That size 8 is going to make me lose weight.
I'm so guilty. I know.
So here's what happens. Or women hold on to things they used to fit in. So every time you go through your closet and you pull that out, what are you telling yourself? I'm not worth it. I'm not enough. I'm this. I'm not. So I'm not amazing. I'm negative because I can't get rid of all of it. You should only. What are you holding on to? Hold on to what you want to be. Hold on. What do you tell me? What are you holding on to?
I happen to like my older clothes because I have great memories in those
Okay.
clothes. And maybe I don't fit in them exactly anymore, but my hope is that I will again. I think it's in my reach. I feel like I can get there.
Then you're living 1 foot out of your life. Because you have a picture of you in those clothes. You don't need the memory. You have a picture. Take a picture, put the clothes on, and take a picture of it. Every time you look at it, you're not enough. Everything in your wardrobe, I've gotten rid of so much stuff over the last year. Every single piece in my wardrobe I put on, I like, I love.
I will say that cleaning my closet is the most cathartic thing I can do for myself. And then your final chapter, I think maybe is my favorite chapter because it really says, there is no style, there is no something that you have to be, there's no one woman to look like, there's no it girl that you should try to make yourself into. It is your style. Find your style
It's you.
and then rock that. Yes, it's all about you. That's why I love the book.
And,
it's all about
the
you.
book I broke down into the chapters. I teach you how to shop as a stylist. Like I'm a top stylist. I go out and I shop and I only go out for one item. Go out and go back in time. Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn, Lady Diana. There's certain fashion icons from every decade, and when you see a woman acknowledging the past, it's timeless. Go out and buy timeless pieces, and then create your own trend with the pieces that you like. It's a funky pair of glasses. It's you start creating your own signature style. One of my favorite chapters is Thou Shalt Dress as if every day is a special occasion. Again, why is today special? I woke up. But so many women have clothing that they only wear on the weekends with cocktails with the girls, or they wear the sexy shoes when the husband takes themselves out. You know what? It's Wednesday. Put on your sexy shoes. You walk different, you feel different, you are different. If you're wearing something that you don't normally wear, everybody's gonna be like, you look so, like, what? And who doesn't want to feel better by getting a compliment?
Well, and a lot of your book, I mean, you do have a section on shopping online,
Yeah.
as well as not online, but I actually think you could read this book and have a complete makeover with not spending one penny. Because it's not really about buying anything. If you went in and you took out your closet and you got rid of 50% of it, which would probably be a low number, but you got rid of a significant portion of that, and you redid your closet and you started seeing yourself differently, and you wore only the clothes that you love, because most women have more clothes than they could ever wear, and then that sort of grew, people treated you differently and you saw the world differently. I think it would be a whole new you without really doing any spending of money.
You've tasted the punch.
Amen.
You're welcome.
Amen. What about women going gray? So you have this wonderful trend going on where 20-year-olds are dyeing their hair gray, and then you still have women in their 50s dyeing their hair brown or black or what have you. So it's this odd thing where 20-year-olds are gray, but 50-year-olds aren't. What do you think about women going gray? Young, old? What's your take?
Choice. It depends if it makes you feel good. If a woman keeps complaining, I look old, I look old, I look old, and you have gray hair, it's because you have gray hair. Then add the right color to make yourself look younger. If you like who you are, to me, that's the most confident.
I think it's like everything, it's how you wear it. You just have to be prepared
And you wear the fashion,
to
don't
wear
let the fashion
it.
wear you.
Exactly. You have to just
And
be
if
ready
it's in
to wear
style, it might not be the right style for you. There's so many women that go out and buy stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. It's not, it's a lot of print, it's a lot of pattern.
Oh, I see. It's
Just because
busy.
it's in style, that doesn't mean it's your style.
I see, yes.
But if you're a big fan of Pucci, that 60s print, if you're a big fan of Pucci, you don't have to dress in a solid Pucci print. Get a Pucci scarf. Get a Pucci. Add a touch of the style. Add a hint of. Add a splash of.
When you have a busy day, what is the snack that you add to your life?
Scones. I love scones. I love chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, yum.
I love, I would say scones and cookies. Scones and chocolate chip cookies are my favorite.
Do you bake?
No, never.
Well,
No.
No.
No. There are people that I got home and I cooked a meal and I'm like, okay, that just seems like torture to me. It's not who I am. I love to barbecue outside when it's a nice day, but other than me barbecuing my famous Lawrence chicken, which is something that I do twice a year. I do it in like May and I invite my family over and it's my famous chicken. I'll never tell you the recipe, but it's famous.
Fair enough.
I do my famous, other than that, it's not enjoyable to me.
I see. So just one famous chicken once a year and then you're done. Mm-hmm. Okay, so scones and cookies.
Isn't that crazy? One of my trainers, not that I have 7, but I have this one trainer that I love, his name's Craig Ramsey, and he would always look at me and he would say, scones. Like, I don't get it. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
And there's
I
a
have
place
to say.
down the street and they have
They're not sweet
apricot
enough.
ginger. No, they have apricot ginger, raspberry polenta, they have blueberry, they have cherry chocolate
Raspberry
chip. So when I
polenta.
walk in, I don't even pay for them anymore. Like they have like a scone reserved for me, which is so great. I know.
Oh,
I
it's
know.
just a scone addiction. Let's face it.
No, it is, or popcorn.
Yeah.
Popcorn. You give me a movie, a tub of buttered popcorn,
Oh.
some red vines. I am so happy. I would watch paint dry. That's all I need.
So my boyfriend and I have this routine at least twice a week. I make air pop popcorn and then extra virgin olive oil and rock salt. It's a whole grain popcorn. I'm not even sure this is a snack. This just might be a good way to get through life.
That would be my last meal. Popcorn and red vines.
Well, thank you for eating with me today. This is not your last meal, luckily for us, but I want to thank you for all of your enthusiasm and your just love of life, because it is so very infectious. Thank you.
Is there anything in that says we want you back?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good. I'm coming back.
We want you
I'm
back for
telling you.
food. We want
'Cause
you
I'd
back
like
for
to eat-
drinks.
I'd like to eat again.
Excellent. I can feed you.
It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Great to
Cheers
have you here.
to you.
Cheers to you and for us looking great.